This movie is so unbelievable and so inspirational.
Yes.
What was it when you first read it or found out about Vinny? Did you think?
I didn't think it was real. When I was as I was reading the script, I couldn't, I loved the script because there were so many twists and turns that were unexpected. And Ben had told me it was a true story, but it was just so hard to believe that it was a true story. And then as I got further into the film and they cast me as his mother, I did more research and read about it. I was completely unaware of it. So it was pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, and then, like you say, you play his mother, Louise. Probably the most low-key character you've ever played?
Yeah, I would say so, which I loved. I did like that she, there were lots of things. I loved that it was in the 80s, and I loved that I got to wear shoulder pads and glitzy sweater. But yeah, she is much more low-key.
Yeah, and then a very religious woman.
Very
and
religious.
There was a lot to her, and what was very interesting, and as a mom, you could probably relate. Who would want to watch their son maybe being killed in a boxing ring?
Well, yeah, and it's sort of for her, it's a story about acceptance in terms of, even the initial, this is a boxing family, so she married into that. So she, she's not completely naive to what goes on. But I don't know that she was on board with Vinny being a boxer all those years coming up. I think she just had to surrender to the fact that that's where he was going. And then as you see in the film, her ultimate acceptance and ability to deal with him boxing is kind of a test of her faith as well.
Absolutely. Tell me about your impressions of Miles. I thought he just did a really stand-up job in this film.
Yeah, I thought Miles did a great job. And I thought he brought the right amount of intensity and levity to the character, because the circumstance of the film is so dark, really, if you think about it. And the script had a lot of levity, and I thought Miles' interpretation of what was going on with Vinny brought an equal amount, which made it so much more human.
Talk about someone's life story who should be on the big screen. I think we should be seeing yours because I know you have a book coming out next March, Grace Notes, and I can't wait to read that because what an amazing life you have had, the ups and downs of everything. What was it like to tell your story in this book?
It was really hard. It wasn't really, I wasn't going to write a book. I had started to write some journal entries for my children, because I have 3 children, and for myself, I lost my parents very young, and so I'm always aware that I want them to know things. I just want them to know about my life and their lives, and so I started it as that, and ended up giving it to my best friend, and she said this should be a book, and it's sort of anyway. So I had to write the thing myself, which ultimately, now that it's done, I'm super proud of. I feel like, wow, I did it. But it was a very difficult process. And, I live with a writer, so I have enormous compassion for writers, but now even more so because it's art.
Well, I can't wait for it to come out, and I know you have a new sitcom and everything. Just best of luck to you. I'm so happy that you're still going strong, and just did a wonderful job in this. Great to meet you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.